Hey guys, Alex here. I wasn't expecting to be doing a video today. Just to briefly explain, yesterday we found out that my grandma suffered a stroke and is in hospital. And my parents are coming back from their vacation from France early. They'll be here tomorrow. And basically I'm just trying to find things to do to keep busy today, because it's been a hell of a shock, because I only saw my grandma this Sunday just gone, and she was absolutely fine, so, you know, everything's a bit crazy at the moment. And a friend of mine mentioned that this game, Beyond Eyes, is out, and I remember this being shown off at one of the game shows a while ago, and it looked really good, it looked really interesting, and yeah, I thought I wanted to give it a go. I needed something to do, so I downloaded it, and I played like 30 seconds of it, and I thought, I want to show people this. I want to play through this for people. So I have started again, I think. So yeah. Now this game's had a bit of an interesting sort of development. They tried to crowdfund it on Indiegogo about 2 years ago, and it didn't make even half of the budget they were looking for. And yet, 2 years later, here it is. It was a lovely summer's day. Ray was playing with her friends. Her sight was lost. That summer, Ray spent a lot of time in the garden alone with her thoughts. One day she received a visitor. Oh. Oh, that's so cute. I've just spent 3 weeks at home alone with my cat, so no, that definitely appeals to me. Okay, so obviously this little girl is blind, and the way it visualizes that, because of course, the game is developed for sighted players. So the way it simulates that is it's got essentially nothingness around her. And I remember reading that they made a conscious decision to make the nothingness white instead of black because they didn't want it to look sinister or something along those lines. So what's interesting is I can see that bird up ahead because I can hear it, but I can't see. I can't see what's in between me and it because she can't hear what's between her and it. And then as she gets closer, yeah, there's a fence in the way. Oh, that's so clever. See, that's what made me decide I wanted to show people this, because it's such an interesting game mechanic. I've seen some people already complaining that she can't run, and they're saying that, oh, it's too slow paced, but she's blind. She's not going to be running around and, jumping over the fences and fighting monsters and stuff. Okay, so there's just a wall around here. Oh, yep. Now that's interesting. So that disappears when it's... Okay then. So that's... Okay, so that's a path which is leading from the house I was at. So I'm assuming then that we are off to find her cat. Fair enough. No, and it's a really, really interesting concept, this, and I mean, I've got to be honest, There's the cat. No, I was going to say, I've got to be honest, I don't want to say not into indie games, but, you know, I don't play that many of them. I mean, I don't... Okay, that's a wall. I don't play that many of them. Mainly because I'm primarily a console gamer, so, you know, I don't, you know, get indie games off Steam and stuff, and the console games that, the indie games... Oh! Oh, that's so sweet. The pair quickly became best friends. Summer gave way to autumn. Ray's friend now had a name. But no, I don't play a huge amount of indie games, but when I see one with like a mechanic that really appeals to me, you know, I'm definitely interested. And lately, the big developers, well, not big developers, but big companies, you know, Microsoft and Sony, have been trying really hard to get more indie games out there because they're seeing the appeal of it. And we're seeing some cases where various indie games have actually received all of their funding from a big company that, you know, saw them when they were, you know, a small little thing and believed in them. Ori and the Blind Forest, I think, started out that way. So no, I'm already loving this. This is brilliant. Right, so again, I can't see what's between me and those bushes up ahead, but she can clearly hear them rustling, so that's why I can see them.
Nani?
Nanny? Is that the cat's name? There's a fountain. I heard that. I didn't actually see it, but I did hear it. Oh, come on, where's your cat? Where's the cat? Where's the cat? Oh. Fine then. So I'm guessing it wants me to go that way. Is there anything else around here? It's such an interesting thing because it really encourages you to actually explore, because unless you do, you can't see where you're going. Okay. Have I just wandered into someone's garden? And what's over here?
Nani?
Is that a bird? Ah, it's a bird. Doing its flickery disappeary trick again. So how come she can only retain that? Oh, is it because it's moving? I think I get it. I think because the bird is alive and therefore moving, it's like when she gets near something, she creates like a mental snapshot of it. Okay. But then if something moves, it's gone.
Nani?
I think, anyway. Ignoring the paths completely. That's another bird. And again, that's interesting because I was just about to make a comment about, you know, how she like gasps every time a bird flies across, but of course she can't see them. There. I can't remember the mention whether the cat's a he or a she.
Nani?
Ray missed Nanny on the days he didn't visit, but he would eventually he would always show up eventually. Oh. So it's a he then. And that is a woodpecker. Where's Nanny gone this time? That's so cool, so you can see the route I've taken. I'm going to try and be a completionist now and clear out this gap in the middle. Winter came, Nanny started to visit less often. Oh. It's really interesting. And considering that this is obviously meant to represent the passage of time rather than a specific day, her walking slowly like that, it really kind of helps set the mood. You wouldn't want her to just be running around, getting it over and done with really quickly. Like, it doesn't feel like a cheap tactic just to make the game longer. But between the snow and that whiteness, it's very difficult to tell what's what. But again, I suppose that represents blindness well, because if you were in heavy snow or rain, you'd be able to hear and feel all of that around you, which could probably play with your perception of what's around you. That's really weird, because I can hear it clearly in my ears, but I can't visualize which direction it's coming from. Maybe that's just because I don't have fancy headphones. There we go. Oh. As you can probably tell, I'm a cat person. Each time Nanny left the garden, Ray would worry, wondering if he would ever come back. Oh no! This game had better not have a depressing ending. Spring brought the garden back to life, but Nanny was nowhere to be found. Oh. Well, that's happy. Okay, so... Just occurred to me, that's the first time I've actually had to press a button. Ray missed her friend badly. One day she decided to go and find him. But no, this is a really, really interesting mechanic. It sort of completely changes the way you play. I mean, I've had games before, like, you know, science fiction games where, like, you have to kind of use a tool or something to visualize a dark area in a similar way. But the way you can see things when she can hear them, and then if it's something that can move, it disappears when it stops making noise. I mean, again, I'm not trying to say, you know, oh, this would be better if it was a scary game, but I could imagine a horror game working with this sort of mechanic. I mean, you imagine if you did switch the white to dark, and you could only you could only see what's coming to get you when it's making noise. That would be very, very creepy. But no. It's nice to actually play a game which isn't all about things trying to eat your face and blow you up. This is... Did I speak too soon? Right, so... Oh, fence, okay.
Nani?
I want my kitty cat back. Oh, Ray wondered if Nanny might have come this way. So, was that actually him, or was that meant to represent an imaginary him? Okay, do I just press towards it? Do I press A? Okay. I don't actually know which one works, though. I just pressed and pushed.
Nani?
See, it's... Again, I know I'm going on about it, but I suppose the whole game is focused around this mechanic. But usually when you come into a new area, in most games, your first thought is to look around and, you know, pick which direction you want to go in. But with this, you can't do that. You can't say, right, that looks like the right way. You just have to kind of look at what's directly around you and take a guess. So I'm guessing we don't want to... Oh, so she heard the water under the... Oh, that's so... So she heard the water under the bridge. And you would have thought, oh, don't go that way, there's water. But of course she didn't visualise the bridge until she's walking on it. God, this is so clever. It's such a simple idea. And, you know, that is definitely the appeal of these indie games. They usually take a very, very simple idea and run with it. And it throws up these, you know, these... Things were not always as she imagined them. Oh, so... Oh, okay, this is getting really cool. So she heard the water, thought it was a fountain like the one in the garden that she knew, and then of course gets closer and it's not a fountain, it's a nasty drain pipe. So am I going to be dealing with lots of things that look like something different at first? Again, just saying, that would work in a horror game. No idea if this is the right way. Oh, it's the... Is that the same washing line? Oh. Okay. Oh, she gets scared when she goes near it. And then she won't walk any closer. Oh, okay. So, can I go around it? Ah! I really hope this is the right way, because I'm terrifying this poor little girl. Nope, that's a rock. Ah, right. Okay. I mean, without wanting to sort of dwell on it for too long, because I'm not qualified to talk about it, and I wouldn't want to say anything completely ignorant. It must sometimes be terrifying to be a child who's blind. Usually when we think of a blind person, you picture an adult, but a child who doesn't know what's out there in the world and who may have never, it's always what the difference between a child who never had their sight and one who loses it, because this little girl, she did have her sight and then lost it, so she's obviously aware of what certain things are, but now she can't see them. But I mean, if you're a child who's never had their sight, then it must be terrifying. Because, as this game shows, they could hear something, think it's one thing, and then it turns out to be something completely different. And I'm not saying that, this game, is the ultimate representation for sighted people of what it's like to be blind, but it definitely makes you think. It makes you approach things in a very different way, which is always good. You should always try and consider things from other people's point of view. And I'm completely lost. And the thing is, when I took that left turn to go over the bridge, over the water, I didn't look what was right, so there could have been something completely different over there. I don't know whether this game has secrets and hidden things. I think I'm going the right way, but I guess follow the sound of the river. That's a frog. Ooh, bridge. Okay. 3 crows. Oh, wait, those are chickens that they look like. Oh. So she hears the sound, thinks they're what she has already experienced, and then gets closer, and then that's so clever. Okay. Getting flashbacks of Fable now. I just want to kick them. Don't kick chickens. Okay, is there any way out of here? No, I've just done a complete loop in a chicken pen. Oh no. Oh no. No, that's not a gate, that's just a section of fence. Right, okay, so that's not the way to go, but again, it shows that everything isn't always as it first seems. Can I be good and close the gate? Stop the chickens from getting out? No. Okay then. Oh, well, this is pleasant. Which probably means something bad is gonna happen. I swear, if this game kills the cat. At least I know I went the right way. I think. Okay, so she's scared of something. Now, is she scared of something she can hear? I don't think she's scared of something she can hear, because it usually signposts those pretty clearly. So, is it just because it's unknown? Because like I was saying, in any other sort of adventure game, you'd come out of there and look at the wide area around you and say, right, that looks like where I want to go, but where do I go? There's a bit of a path over here, so I'm going to follow that, but I've got no idea that this is the right way. Oh! Now, I don't think there's any actual real danger in the game as such. In terms of, like, there's no health bar or anything like that, but...
Nani?
God, that actually made me jump. Well, being logical, yeah, the cat wouldn't be over the other side because it wouldn't stay near where the dog is, so that's not a gate or something I can push, is it? That is definitely like a fence or... Yeah. Okay, is that a bit of a gate? Or a fence, or something? Oh! No, that was a door, just not one I can open, so this is another house. Right. Oh god. I'm assuming I'm meant to be going towards the clock... Not clock tower, it's not a clock tower, bell tower. But I'm not entirely sure why, because where's the logic that that's where her cat would be?